Hello friends, in this video we will learn combined property on continuous time signal. That is, what happens when you have to do time scaling and shifting together. Let us begin. So let us start with combined property, which says you have to do time scaling and time shifting together. So in general, if let's say x of t is the original signal, then after applying combined property, I can write it in this form: x of alpha t plus beta. Here, alpha as well as beta can be individually positive or negative, but that is not the point to discuss over here. So, in general, let me just write it as x of alpha t plus beta. So, here, as you can see, you are scaling by alpha and shifting by beta. To solve such problems, we have two approaches, that is, from left to right approach and right to left approach. We'll study both the approaches. So, first, we will see left to right approach. In this, the given thing is x of alpha t plus beta. Remember, step number one is to make t coefficient free. T means time, that is independent variable. So step number one, as I said, make t coefficient free. And if you want to do so, you need to take alpha common. So next step, what I can do is x of, if I take alpha common, what remains inside? T plus beta by alpha. Is that right? And now the approach says you have to go from left to right. So I'll be going from left to right like this. So when I'm approaching from left to right, I find first of all alpha, which is multiplied with the parenthesis. This is what we call as a parenthesis. So when some factor is multiplied with the parenthesis, this is what we called as scaling. Then in this approach, step number one, to scale by alpha, right? So when you are moving further, as you can see, you are shifting by beta by alpha. Is that right? Suppose if this beta by alpha happens to be positive value, I'm going to advance by beta by alpha. And if this beta by alpha appears to be, let's say, negative value, then I'm going to delay it by beta by alpha. That's the reason why I'm not saying advancing or delaying. Rather, I would say shift by beta by alpha. Then step two, we would say shift by beta by alpha. And if you do so, then the resulting signal is actually x of alpha t plus beta. So if you want to solve for x of alpha t plus beta, what we did, first of all, we made t coefficient free by taking alpha common. Then what remains inside? If I take alpha outside, then it becomes t plus beta by alpha. Then in left to right approach, first of all, we scale by alpha, then we shift by beta by alpha. This is what we called as left to right approach. So now I'll tell you what is right to left approach. Again, what is given to me, let me just write it down: x of alpha t plus beta. Since you are going from right to left, you don't have to make t coefficient free. I repeat, when you are using this approach, right to left approach, you don't have to make t coefficient free. So when you are moving like this, that is from right to left, step number one, when you're moving from right to left, what comes in picture? That is beta. Then you have to shift the signal by beta. Remember, this shifting would be either advancing or delaying depending upon the sign of beta, whether it is positive or negative. If it is positive, it is advance. If it is negative, it is delay. So I'm saying in general, shift by beta. Is that right? So once you do that, and when you are moving slowly from right to left, you see that product of t with alpha, and alpha is what we call as a scaling factor. Step number two is very simple. We would just say scale by alpha. And let me tell you, the resultant answer is x of alpha t plus beta. So if you want to plot x of alpha t plus beta, you can follow one of the approach, left to right or right to left. So once I explain this approach, I'll tell you my experience, and thereafter I generally ask student which approach you are quite comfortable with. They always go for right to left approach, which is this. So I do accept that right to left approach is quite better and quite simpler as compared to left to right approach. But what I'm always going to follow and what I want you to always follow is this approach, even though it is quite complex to follow. But go for this approach only, and I'll tell you reason why. So when you are going from left to right approach, the only extra step that you need to do is you have to make t coefficient free, right? And then you start moving from left to right. So in first step you have scaled by alpha. In second step you shift by beta by alpha. We have to go for left to right approach preferably. Reason, this is quite useful method when you solve problems on Fourier transform and Laplace transform. So while solving problems based on Laplace transform as well as Fourier transform, this method is quite beneficial to you. So I suggest you should go from this approach only, that is left to right approach, and whatever sums that I would be solving, I'll be going from left to right approach only. Rest, you can apply this property, that is right to left property, and I leave it as a homework for you to solve the remaining problem by right to left approach. So what I'll be explaining you is left to right approach. So let's solve some problems based on this. As you can see, the x of t is given. We are following the same problem actually. So once you become comfortable with this approach, then we will take variety of problems. So they are asking you to plot x of 2t plus 2, where x of t is given. So let me just write the question. It is x of 2t plus 2. As I said, our approach is to make t coefficient free. If I take 2 common, what remains inside? T plus 1. Is that right? And now I'm going from left to right approach. So step number 1 is to scale by 2, and then step number 2 is to advance by 1. Now I'm saying advance by 1 because I know that it is having plus sign. So step number 1 is scale by. So you know that they've asked us to multiply by 2. So what we do? We do exactly reverse. We divide by 2. In that case, it is like this. 4 gets divided by 2 and minus 2 also gets divided by 2. So 4 gets divided by 2 and minus 2 also gets divided by 2. So what is a new lower limit to you? It is minus 1, and higher limit is plus 2. So as I said, lower limit is minus 1 and higher limit is 2. Somewhere here we'll have this axis. Right. So we have done with scale by 2 approach. Step number 2. So when you are following this approach, left to right approach, you see that you have to now advance by 1. See, when I'm saying advance by 1, it is plus 1. So we know that when plus 1 is specified, what we do? We subtract by 1, right? So lower limit and higher limit will get subtracted by 1. Therefore, it would be like minus 1 will become minus 2, and 2 minus 1 will become 1. And let me tell you, this amplitude, let's say if it is 1, then throughout it is going to remain 1, because so far we have not started with y-axis operation. So in a way, it is not at all going to affect, or it is going to affect amplitude, right? So this is how we are supposed to solve. Remember, the resulting signal is what is asked, which is x of 2t plus 2. So let's solve next problem. Plot x of 2t minus 2. So what I'm doing, I'm going to take this 2 common so as to make t coefficient free. Again, I'm going from left to right approach. In step number 1, what I see, it is scale by 2. So they're asking us to multiply by 2. We divide by 2. We know that it is like this. So lower limit is minus 1, higher limit is positive 2. amplitude is not going to change. Step number 2. Now when you are moving from left to right, first of all we have scaled by 2. Now we have to delay by 1. The reason why I'm saying delay by 1, because I find negative sign here. You know this approach. When they ask you to subtract by 1, you add 1 with lower limit as well as in higher limit. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to add 1 over here. So minus 1 plus 1 will become 0 as lower limit, and 2 plus 1 will become 3 as a higher limit. So our signal is supposed to start with 0 and it is going to end up at 3. Will have the same height because height is not going to change. Right? So I'm sure you understood this approach. So now you have to plot x of minus 2t minus 2. So I'm sure you must be in a position to solve this. First of all, make t coefficient free. In order to do so, take minus 2 out, and what we have inside t plus 1. Is that right? Again, you are moving from left to right. When you are moving from left to right, don't scale by 2 immediately. Wait for it. When you are moving from left to right, what you observe first is not 2 but a negative sign. Therefore, step number 1 would be what? Of course, it is time reversal. I'm sure you're getting this. Step number 2. Yes, after encountering with negative sign, now we'll go for scale by 2. And thereafter, we'll go for step number 3, which is advance by 1. I hope you understood this. See, I have made my t coefficient free by taking minus 2 out. So minus 2 in the bracket, what remains is t plus 1. When you're moving from left to right, which sign you appear across is negative sign. We know that when t is multiplied with negative sign, you first of all do a time reversal. Thereafter, you scale by 2 and then you advance by 1. So I will leave this sum as a homework. We'll move to the next. So next property is operation on, again continuous time signal, but this time I'm going to operate on y-axis. In this you have to study two things, that is multiply by constant and added with constant. So remember, original signal is x of t. What happens when you multiply x of t with k, and what happens when you add k, that is constant, with x of t? Remember, again this k can be positive or negative, okay, and this k can have several ranges also. We'll see one by one property. So multiply by constant can be classified into two. That is, if mod of k is greater than 1, it will amplify the signal, or it will raise the amplitude of the signal. And if mod of k is less than 1, or to be very specific, if mod of k is between 0 and 1, then it is going to attenuate the signal. That is, it is going to lower amplitude of the signal. Again, when it comes to addition of k with x of t, okay, this k can be again positive or negative. So in a way, whether you add or whether you subtract, the only one operation it is going to perform, that is what we called as a standard operation called as clamping operation. So we will see one by one. First of all, we will see multiply by constant. So now here we will see multiply by constant property. X of t is given. So before I proceed, I'll first of all note down what is the width. It is 6, and what is height? It is 1. Is that right? Now let's say we have to plot twice of x of t. It is quite simple. When you say twice of x of t, then amplitude gets multiplied by 2. Remember, amplitude gets multiplied by 2. Time scale is not going to get affected because it has absolutely nothing to do with your x-axis. Therefore, the original amplitude was 1. Now, because it gets multiplied by 2, now height becomes 2. Therefore, you'll get a signal with same -2 as a lower limit and +4 as higher limit. That is not going to change, but of course it is going to raise an amplitude by 2. So new amplitude has become 2, and now this becomes twice of x of t. I'm sure you understood this. Of course 0 will be somewhere here. So as you can see, the original height was 1. Now the new height is 2, but width remains unchanged, which is 6. In a way, can I say that it is going to raise the amplitude of the original signal, and the resulting operation is what we called as amplification, and that's what really happens in amplifier. It raises the amplitude of the given signal. Is that right? So here what I have seen is, since k is greater than 1, it is acting as amplifier. I'm sure you understood this. Let's say if someone says to plot half times x of t. So what is going to happen in this? Of course, the original amplitude of x of t gets divided by 2 or gets multiplied by 1 by 2. So what I'll get? A new amplitude. I'm sure you can guess. The new amplitude would be half. Lower limit -2, higher limit +4, and height of the original signal gets reduced by, and such property, when mod of k, and this mod of k is lying between 0 to 1, in this case it is half, then such property is what we called as attenuation property, or it acts as a attenuator. Amplifier raises the amplitude, attenuator lowers the amplitude. Please remember this. Next, we are supposed to see adding with constant property. What is going to happen? It would be like this: x of t plus or minus k. Is that right? So let's say we have to plot 2 plus x of t. Is that right? So what is meant by 2 plus x of t? Let's say if I draw x of t here as it is, so this is your original x of t. Whereas when they say 2, it means it is 2 for all time. So it is like this. It is 2 for all time. Now imagine both the signals are getting added. Am I right? This +2 is 2. That is, it is 2 for all time, means from -infinity to +infinity, it is always 2. So imagine if such signal is added with our original signal x of t. Okay. Now we would see what is going to happen here. I'm going to put again two limits here, -2 to +4. In between there is 0. Now you can observe our x of t position for t less than half. I mean t less than -2. You can observe for t less than -2, x of t is always 0. Is that right? Whereas this signal which is 2, it is always 2. Is that right? Therefore, it is having amplitude 2 for less than -2. This is having amplitude as 0. And what we have to do? Certainly addition. Therefore, 2 plus 0 will become 2. Therefore, up to 2 or up to -2, it will have amplitude as 2. Now look at t which is greater than 4. Our original signal x of t is 0 after 4. But here, even after 4, this 2 does exist. Therefore, this is 0. This gets added with 2. And therefore, even after 4, this amplitude is going to remain 2. Is that right? Now, I'll talk about x of t between -2 to 4. During -2 to 4, the amplitude of x of t is 1, and the value of 2, of course, it is 2 itself between -2 to 4. So 2 plus 1 will become 3. Therefore, this amplitude raises to 3. This has become 3 as amplitude. So in a way, do you think the signal got amplified? Answer is no. Signal has not amplified. Signal is just shifted upward by how much amount? By amount 2, where 2 is what we called as a DC value. The reason why it is called as DC value, because it is throughout 2. It is 2 for all time. Am I right? So whenever your particular signal gets shifted upward, then this is what we call as clamping up. And let's say if k would have been negative, then the same x of t gets shifted to down by that k value, and then this is what we called as clamping down property. So you can either clamp up the signal or you can clamp down the signal, so without actually affecting the property of given x of t. The original x of t width and original x of t height is going to remain same. Only thing is it is just either lifted upward or it is either shifted downward, and that's what we called as a clamping property. So I'm sure you have understood all these properties, that is combined properties as well as adding with constant and multiply with k, that is constant property. Thank you.